Hello, everybody. I hope all is well with you. I am Demetra Kaye of the Demetra Kaye Show. I'm so happy to be here with you on the African Diaspora News Channel on what we call Thanksgiving. So I don't know if you all are celebrating or not, but if you are, happy Thanksgiving to you and all of that. So I'll be here with you for, I don't know, 30, 45 minutes, just depending on how the conversation goes. As I said the other day, we gonna see who all gonna be up in here. Everybody talking about, oh, I don't celebrate and all that other stuff. So we gonna see. But nevertheless, today we're gonna be talking about Democrats' drag for giving Black voters another useless bill. And as y'all probably can see via the thumbnail, it says unbelievable, because it really is unbelievable. Play on unbelievable. So I'll get into all of that. I'm going to show you a video and just kind of break it down just a little bit as to why it's really useless. But as usual, we get nothing but symbolism. Hey, Buckhorse, how you doing? What you cooking today? I know you always cooking something. They always giving us symbolism, and we run around like chickens with our head cut off. Oh, it's so wonderful, and all that other stuff, right? So anyway, we'll get into that. But in the meantime, if you haven't already gotten our app, what's taking you so long? Of course, we have an African Diaspora News app that you can get from your Play Store on your phone. It is something that we have built for us, by us, or from us, for you, or whatever it is. And whatever it is, it's a Black app with Black news, not like the mainstream media. They talk about us like this thing I'm gonna tell you about. They made it seem like it was woohoo, so good, but on here, we're gonna give you the real and let you know. Don't get too excited about that. But again, of course, I know a lot of people are gonna be out there spending money on Black Friday. So if you go spend, a couple bucks, make sure you spend some with us, right? A Black business. Give the gift to everybody you can think of, your children, your grandchildren, your mama, your daddy, whoever, they got a phone, they can use our app. So anyway, Mike Nice, how are you today? What you got going on? Are you cooking anything today? Anyway, I went to the gym, was kind of empty. I thought it was going to be a lot of people up in there, but not really. And I asked the guys at the desk, I was like, was it busy earlier? Because I got there about 7 o'clock. They said, no, not really. Usually people try to get in there and, burn a few calories before the go down. The go down is eating a lot and, having to expand your sweatpants to intake all the food. But it's okay. I was there. Let's see who else is there. The Silent Investor. How you doing? Hope you're doing well. Ontario, California. Oh, I miss it. That's right up the street from where I'm from. Renz, how you doing? So anyway, let's go ahead and get into it for the sake of time. Anyway, you all might have seen this particular story I'm about to show you. So it comes from Pennsylvania, where Governor Josh Shapiro signed a new Crown Act. Now, you guys have heard of the Crown Act. It's the act that's been enacted in now 28 states, California and Texas to be included, basically saying that you cannot be discriminated against because of your hairstyle, right? However you want to wear it, whether it's locks, whether it's whatever you want to call this, an afro, whatever it is. Now, of course, they are running around saying, oh, this is for Black people. Oh, Black people have gotten this, that, and the other. And it's like, well, is it really for Black people? Because they put Black people in the front of it, right? So I'm going to show y'all the video first, and then we're going to break it on down. So here we go.
When I sign the Crown Act into law, that will be the next step in making good on that promise of bringing about real freedom for all Pennsylvanians.
This public policy campaign is my brainchild in a nationwide effort I have led since 2018. Determining it was necessary to change the law to help redress the long-standing and problematic practice of racial discrimination in the form of hair discrimination, I subsequently developed the national legislative, social impact, and coalition-building strategies for this movement, because for too long, a myopic notion of professionalism and Eurocentric standards of beauty have perpetuated racial inequity and exclusion. Too many Black children have been suspended and missed what should be valuable instruction time because their hair, worn in ways that are aligned with their racial identity, have been deemed a violation of school rules.
I am a child growing up in the Virgin Islands with natural hair. Natural hair has been braids, twists, locks all my life. That's all I know is, I still have locks. But wearing my natural hair has been all that I know. But as I opened my salon and spoke to different clients that wear braids, that's telling me, Lorraine, I have to take these braids out, I have a job interview. Or Lorraine, I have to cut my locks down because my job stays too long. And the recent one was my client who says, Lorraine, they talking about me, I have to do something, I have to cut my locks because of my job. You know, they saying it's unprofessional to have locks. And I'm like, wow.
Look, we know that this is an issue that disproportionately affects Black Pennsylvanians who wear their hair in protective styles like locks and natural braids or twists. And it can manifest itself in a number of different ways, from someone getting fired simply because of how they look, or maybe someone getting passed over for a job because of the way they wear their hair. That's unacceptable. And in a moment, it will be illegal. Representative Mays, that's for you. Madam Speaker, that is for you. And this is the Crown Law.
All right, let me remove that. So as y'all saw there, yes, the Crown Law, but I don't know if y'all picked up on a couple of things. So at the end there, Governor Josh Shapiro says that disproportionately affects Black Pennsylvanians, right? Because that's who that law is for. So I want to show y'all exactly what it is in a nutshell. Let me remove the banner really quick. Okay, so as you can see there, it says Governor Shapiro signs Crown Act into law, protecting Pennsylvanians from hair-based discrimination and expanding opportunity in the Commonwealth. Now, let's go over here to the other side where it says today, Governor Josh Shapiro joined legislative leaders and local business owners to sign HB 439, also known as Creating a Respectful and Open World for Natural Hair, the Crown Act, into law. The legislation amends the Pennsylvania Human Relation Act, the acronyms, and it says to expand the definition of race. Okay, stop right there. Expand the definition of race. Okay, to include traits historically associated with race, including hair texture, protective styles, hairstyles, and religious creeds. So you throw religion in there, right? Are Black people just religious? No, everybody else is religious as well. Okay, now it also says with the signing of this bill, Pennsylvania becomes a 28th state in the nation to prohibit discrimination based on hair texture and protective styles historically associated with race, ensuring that all Pennsylvanians can live and work without fear of racial bias in their hair or appearance. According to 2022 Pennsylvania Human Relations Commission report, 916 complaints were filed that year alone related to racial discrimination involving hair texture and protective styles. So over here in the corner there, just basically says that Pennsylvania has expanded race to mean, you know, a whole host of people, not just Black people, right? And it also says others. So I asked, Google, does this just mean for Black people? And it says, no, the Pennsylvania anti-hair discrimination law, known as the Crown Act, is not just for Black Americans. It protects all individuals from discrimination based on their hair texture and protective hairstyles associated with their race. The Crown Act amends the existing Pennsylvania Human Relation Act to clarify the term race includes traits historically associated with race, specifically hair texture and protective hairstyles, while the law was primarily enacted to address history of discrimination that disproportionately affects Black individuals. Protection applies broadly to any persons experiencing race-based hair bias. Okay, let's take that down. So before I put up anything else, I just want to be clear, as in Kamala would say, let's be clear. Let's be really clear that the Crown Act is not a Black thing. They throw the words disproportionately, but as you see, it could be any race, right? You know, Jews, they have curly hair as well. Italians, they got curly hair, and they might want to wear it in what you call an afro, whatever. They could wear locks like white people wear locks. All kind of people wear hairstyles that may deem to be Black, right? But they are white or other. So that is not just for Black Americans. But as y'all saw there, they had the faces of Black people to present to everybody else, you know, that this is for Black people and we really did something for you. Now, I should also say that Governor Josh Shapiro is not specifically for reparations of Black descendants of slavery. He is for, how can I say this, making life right for minorities, right? So he'll do something for the school system here and, you know, maternity health issues, especially when Black women go to the hospital. It does disproportionately affect Black women. Of course, lately y'all seen a lot of stories in the news of Black women who were turned away during labor. One woman gave birth, I think it was Indiana, in the car moments after she was turned away. So yes, that stuff disproportionately affects Black people, or Black women rather, because I know there's some dudes out there think they can give birth. But anyway, there is no specific law just for Black women. There's no specific hair law just for Black people or any of that stuff. So again, he's not for reparations. Now, I want to pick apart, just before I put up some other stuff, some of the stuff that those ladies said, okay? Now, one of them, she was basically talking about, you know, how children can go to school, and I guess she's talking about Black children can go to school and not have to worry about being discriminated against. Of course, we've seen a lot of that in the news. Kids having to or being told to cut their locks or they couldn't go to school and all that other stuff. But my thing is, why not just talk about building our own schools? Why not build our own schools so we can wear our hair the way we want to wear it, you know? And then the other lady says, oh, you know, people have been fired off of their jobs and this, that, and the other. I guess it's too difficult to talk about let's build our own jobs. You know, because this bill basically says, ha, 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 white people, you have to let me wear my afro in your job. Now, they may not fire you because of your hair, but they'll find a way to fire you if they really didn't like your hair. They're not going to come out and say, Derofa, I don't like that afro you got going on, right? They'll find another way to do it. So it's just nonsense. Because again, there's this hotline. You can say, they don't like my dreadlocks. And then, you know, I guess they'll say, okay, we'll look into it. It's like, okay. Because again, in 2022, they had 916 people complain. And I looked, and I was like, well, how many people complained about police brutality there in Pennsylvania? Obviously, the number was too broad to give me, but it says Black Pennsylvanians are 6 times more than likely than white folks to be, you know, have a negative interaction with the police. So I'm like, where's that database? Where's that database so Black people there in Pennsylvania can cry and talk about what the police has done to them? It doesn't exist. I look, nothing like that exists. There's no bills to protect Black people at all from the police or nothing like that. Okay, so let me show y'all who came up with this. All right, so the woman here in the corner, Representative Joanna McClinton, she is the first Black woman speaker of the House there or something. So she says yesterday, so it was November 25th, we made history when the Pennsylvania Crown Act became law. I was happy to share the day with my goddaughter, Laurel, knowing that her generation won't face discrimination or be judged for their natural hairstyle or texture. We can wear our crowns with pride. And that's her right there. You know, I guess she was talking to Josh Shapiro in that picture. Then at the bottom there is the Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania. He says Pennsylvania will soon have a Crown Act on the books preventing discrimination based on hair type, texture, or protective style. A huge win for Black Pennsylvanians. Now, we already know that's a lie, right? Because I already showed y'all that was a bald-faced lie. I said bald-faced, a bald-faced lie, because it's not just to protect Black Pennsylvanians. It can include a whole host of people, and it includes people who wear hijabs and things like that. So that's not just for Black Pennsylvanians, but they would like you to believe that it is. Now, he says, as the first Black Lieutenant Governor of Pennsylvania, I was honored to sign the Crown Act as it left the Senate and is now on its way to the governor for signature. So he signed it, and that this was on the 19th. So basically, he's saying, as the first Black face, I am co-signing this nonsensical law for Black Pennsylvanians. Again, it's not. Okay, now at the top here, you see these two ladies. It says Pennsylvania becomes the 28th state to pass the Crown Act, and Delta Sigma Theta sorors at the center of the victory. So at the bottom, you see Ajoa B. Asamoah. I know I probably jacked her name up. Well, she worked in the Biden administration as the national advisor for Black engagement. So there's a couple things going on here. I look because I know somebody will probably ask, say, where are people from? I think her mom was from here and then her daddy's from Ghana, from what I understand. But there you have the fraternities and sororities. You know, this is the kind of stuff they're telling, I guess, politicians that we want. We want hair acts, crown acts, so our babies can go to school and we cannot get fired off of white people's jobs and stuff, right? This is they speaking for the rest of us, because I don't know anybody personally that said, you know, it would be nice if like states and things would give us a crown act and we could just wear our hair nappy and be happy. I don't know anybody who said anything like that, right? But I guess this is what they're telling people. Then again, you know, she worked for the National Advisor for Black Engagement. I don't even know what that means. You know, is she telling them? I don't know. Like, what does Black engagement mean? You're the national advisor that's saying, well, this is what the Negroes like. Okay, if you want to engage with them, this is what you, I don't like, what does that even mean? It sounds like you're just spending money to say you got somebody Black there to be engaging with Black people, or so you can, you know, be hip and cool with Black people. I don't know. I really don't. So I just wanted y'all to see who is championing this foolishness for Black Americans. Okay, now this is where the dragging comes along, and we're going to do some dragging ourselves, okay? Now, this particular woman, she is Vivek Ramaswamy, so y'all could do with that what you will. She's Black. Vivek Ramaswamy's director, so I guess his campaign director. Anyway, she says Black people like these, and she's talking about them. They were celebrating the whole Crown Hair Act. People make it difficult for Black people like me. When white people see me, they think they're talking to these Black people here. So instead of talking to me about CapEx investments or infrastructure or real estate opportunities, they try to talk to me about hair racism. You people are stupid. Focusing on my Black hair does not lower my cost of living as a Black person or any color person. You know, there's a person of color thing. Focusing on my Black hair does not reduce property taxes. Focusing on my Black hair does not lower my energy bill. Focusing on my Black hair does not improve the innumerable potholes that make driving in Pennsylvania an obstacle course. Same here in Houston, right? Focusing on my Black hair doesn't lower the cost of college for my children. These white people are laughing at you. We don't give a damn about that. Laughing at you. If Black people weren't so doggone emotional over strategic, he says, we would see how embarrassing this is. The whole world is tired of these faux problems, and their children are exceeding while yours, not mine, are getting left behind. So she's basically saying this is bullcock, okay? Nobody asked for that. I guess she particularly is more caught up on how white people see us due to this bill. Again, we don't give a damn about how white people see us at all. I know y'all don't care. But to her point, all the other stuff, she's right. Out of all the things you could give Black people, right? Black Pennsylvanians, you want to give them a hair bill. Again, it's in 27 other states. And there's been a lot of Black people running around like that. We finally made it. We finally made it. We finally gotten something that we can say that we have all our own. But you know what? They know that most Black people won't even dissect the bill and say, is it really just for us? Or is it for everybody else too? Is this an all lives? That's what I like to call them, an all lives matter bill. This includes everybody. They know we won't look. So they'll get up there and put Black faces on, you know, TV, and they get to speak about how I could go to work with my locks and all this other stuff. But they know that most people won't look into it. They say, that way, ain't that something? We showed then look what we got here. Black people finally made it. We done finally got something we could call our own, or could be proud of. But again, wouldn't the conversation be better off if we say, hey, Black people, let's build our own schools. Let's create our own jobs. Let's do all that other stuff. And we ain't got to tap dance for white folks, you know, and put permanents and, and relaxers and all kind of stuff on our hair. Now, I once upon a time worked in corporate America, and I bowed to that pressure at one point in time, right? I was told, you know, because I wore my hair natural, and it was a little bit more natural than this. And so I was told by somebody who looked like me, you know, maybe you should, straighten it or something. That way it'll just kind of fit in a little bit more. Cause I would wear my hair like out, It's like you probably make a little bit more money if you wore your hair straight or whatever. So I said, okay. And I did. And then I vowed that I'd never do that again. That if I had to have a job that, I would look better with chemicals on my hair, then I was like, I just won't work there. And I never bowed to that pressure ever again. So I understand that happens. But see, for me, I'd rather us just build our own businesses and we can come in there how we want to come up in there and wear our hair the way we want to wear it. But I should also say there's a lot of people who are like mad about this bill, and a lot of those people are white. We don't care about that at all. They're gonna be mad about everything. But there's a lot of us who are like, are y'all happy about this? Do you really think this is something? Because what we want is reparations, right? We want a reparations check. We want a hate crime bill. We want it all. Brand new socks and drawers, right? We don't want nothing to do with our hair. Because see, if you give us reparations, we can build our own businesses. We can wear our hair the way we want to wear. We don't have to worry about, what white folks think about our hair. See, that's another thing we got to unlearn is what white folks would think. I don't care. I really don't. Because white folks ain't gonna never like us, right? You hear a lot of us say, oh, well, that's why white people don't like us. Or that's why white people don't like us. No, white people ain't never liked us. You don't like somebody and put them on the plantation and do the horrible things that you've done to our people. There's nothing to like about that, right? So they'll never like us, whether we bald-headed, whether we got two braids sticking up in the middle of they'll never like us, right? So we don't care about what they think, but we need to rearrange how we think and stop accepting symbolism as it's something that we can really just, write home about. Like that lady said, I can't do nothing with that. I can't pay no bills with that, And then she talked about the stuff that we teach our children. Now, not like she said, not me, but y'all. The children are getting left behind. Now, how true that is, I don't know. I guess I had to look a little bit more deeply into it, but she does make a point that we have to stop selling our children that nonsense that that's really something. You got to build to protect you. And you can wear your hair the way you want to wear your hair. Now we need to be teaching our children, build your own businesses in schools, and you can do what the heck you want to do up in there because you own that, instead of begging white folks or anybody else to like your hairstyle for the day. So anyway, let me see what y'all got to say about that. And thank you for bearing with me. Go all the way back to the top. So our sister Sunlight said, oh, Lord. Oh. All right, so where did I leave off? Mike, it says, I'm more of a tasting type, so you ain't cooking nothing. So you gonna be, what's in the kitchen? McQueen, how you doing? It says they want that black vote so bad. Again, they already have the black vote. They being the Democrats, they already have the black vote. They want to keep it though, right? Because they see the black voters starting to wake up like we are here, like saying, a crown up? Like, just give me the crown, right? I'll be cool if you give me a crown with some diamonds or something. I can at least say that's something, But I don't need no bill to validate how I'm gonna wear my hair for the day. But yeah, they trying to keep the black voter intact. Sunlight says, hello, family mods and chat. I'm here. Happy no Thanksgiving. Okay. DJ Biggs, what's going on? Says the Crown Act was pushed by Caribbeans. I don't know how true that is, but I take your word for it. Again, it's even Texas has one. Now you think about if Texas has a Crown Act, it ain't nothing behind that bill because Texas ain't trying to do nothing for a Negro at all, right? Texas even got good. Greg Abbott was standing up there signing the bill, and all the while he thinking, ain't no money on this bill. If this what makes the blacks happy, then so be it. So yeah, Justin, how you doing? Said, well, Miss K, I'm able to catch and engage with you. I'm off today. Woohoo! I'm so happy that you're off. Please rest and relax. Scrooge McDuck, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. DJ Biggs says the Crown Act was pushed by Caribbeans, and a lot of Caribbeans and Latinos have been building LLCs and organizations around that. Yeah, I haven't heard anything about that. I take the word for it, but that's Sunlight says lock for life. I thought about getting locks once, but I like to change my hair too much. I have them in there a week and then combed them out because I like to do different hairstyles, but I like them on everybody else. Me, not so much. Let's see. McQueen says they need to go ahead and push it across the country. He's talking about the Crown Act. I don't know if there's one on a federal level. I don't know. I think I heard something about that once, but they can push it across the country. But, you know, there's a lot of Black people, especially Black Americans, that have a fantastic hairstyle, but are facing eviction or don't have anything we can call our own. So you have a great hairstyle, but what else do you have to go with it? You have a great hairstyle in a neighborhood that's being gentrified, redlined, and a whole host of things, but you look good. Ain't nobody gonna say nothing to you when you have your fantastic coiffed hair going to work. So yeah, Justin says, I can't stand people playing in my face. Me either. Says that's why I'm a fan of this current administration. They're making Black people wake up and deal with the real issues and not stuff that is inconsequential. Absolutely. And they are. We are having to wake up, right? Especially when they started talking about segregation. A lot of us were saying, I can dig it. I can go for some little segregation. But there's, of course, there's a lot of us, you know, that are more on the shield side of things. What? They want to segregate. And it's really on a federal level in regards to contracts. Contractors, I guess they don't have to, you know, integrate if they don't want to. But then it causes us to have a larger conversation about segregation, where we're starting to say, hey, let's have our own communities and things like that, because we've been told to do that anyway for a very long time now. So as you said, with the Trump administration, we're having to entertain those things like seriously. So yes, child of God, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Says white men can wear braids to work. Yeah, and they do. Dreads and a whole host of things, but they put Black people at the front of that. I'm so happy. I'm so happy Black people don't have nothing of their own still. See, I need to be up in those press conferences. I ain't gonna be there long though, because they're gonna put me out. Say, is that just for Black people? They be like, can you show her the door? Wiz, how you do? It says, when are you? It says, when are you stupid? Can't say that word. Black people gonna wake up. It says the Democrats don't give a damn about Black people. They use you to get your vote, and then they put some liquid on you. Stop the insanity. Well, we waking up now. You know, unfortunately, it's been a very slow process, but we are waking up. There's some that are stupid. Some people just, you know, I guess, I don't know, stupid in the sense that they don't know. But when you know, and but to keep it real with you, a lot of people do know, and they realize that the Democrats have done nothing for us. Again, the Republicans either, okay? But they don't care because it's the party of Black people. But I get you. True Warrior, how you doing? It says, let's be really clear. I ain't gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something. No, let's be really clear. I'm not gonna do something that just benefits Black people now. Speaking of Kamala, I think she done rinsing the greens out the bathtub today. Oh, get in trouble. Kimmy, how you doing? It says, making life right is giving us our money. Right? Write the check. Dances with vegans, the something eats something. But how you doing? It says this is a good bill. It's just an everyone bill, not just for us. This is a good thing. Credit where credit is due. We have to be past their framing and propaganda for us. Policy speaks. That's fine. So you're saying this is a good bill? Why? Are you be pulling my leg? Kimmy says, with reparations, we can build our own schools. Yeah, but again, you know, this is the, here, we're going to give you something. Here, there. Do what you will with that, you know. 10, how you doing? Says, Angelos are going into spaces and you are going down in the dirt. Okay. Let's see. Sunlight says, Zahu, what? Terroria says, Mosway. Oh, I ain't worried about the trolls. Trolls don't bother me at all. Because, you know, once you give them the razor blades and the lemon juice one good time, then they usually sit down. But trolls don't bother me at all. But I do have the ability to block them from over here, though. Yes, I do. DJ Biggs says, the more grants for these Caribbeans and Afro-Latinos for the businesses, organization, the LLC from that bill. Okay. Don't know nothing about that at all, but take your word for it. Okay. Dances with vegans. You say we are 10% of the population. Of course, the laws are made for all. Better they help us. Says the law obviously makes sense, not earth-shattering, but still a good thing. This is commentary is baseless. Like your mama sees unseasonless turkey is baseless. Buckhorse says, oh no, I'm on the wrong what? Oh, my page, your moderator. Yes, okay. That don't worry about it. I got him. Walk with me, NYC. How you doing? Says we down to 10%. 10% of what? What are we down to 10%? And who is this we you're speaking of? Keep rubbing my eye because I got something in it clearly. Shan, how you doing? Says, don't nobody know what it means. It's provocative. Ha ha. Yeah. Well, a lot of people really don't care. They just think, oh, okay, you know, I have a bill. They gave us a bill. And I don't know, that don't benefit most people because not all Black Americans wear their hair natural. You know, some wear wigs, weaves, perms, or whatever it is. So that doesn't even benefit to everybody. So it's just some people here and there. Miss Mississippi, how you doing? Says we are more than 10% of the population. Useless bill. That's why I'm like, who is 10% of the population? But thank you for that. DJ Biggie says you could wear your hair, whatever you want, having your own business. Yeah, see, we here, right? Great minds think alike. We here. Give me the check, and I can create my own business, and I can walk in there with however I want to wear my hair. But they don't want us to think like that. Because see, we get to thinking like that, then we be thinking like, well, why do we need the Democrats again? Right? Scrooge McDucky says, F that bill. There's Black people that are starving. Come on now. But they want you to be able to wear your hair to work, however you want to wear your hair, but you're going to go home and not have a tomato or a grape to put on the table. Yeah, walk with me. NYC, we got to fund ourselves. McQueen, you say, they think these bills are really going to do something, but they're not. They're trying to shut us up, and midterms is coming. Yeah, that's what all it is. They see it's coming. Give them something. Give them something so they can celebrate. I could go to work and wear my hair in an afro, you know, and then you'll remember that. It's like, remember what we did for y'all? Midterms are coming up. If you want more of those type of bills, you have to keep us in office. Okay. Let's see. Just reading something. Okay. Kimmy says this is up there with the barbershop man talking about child support in front of JFK. Says like all of those things you could have discussed. This what y'all on? Yeah. Well, you know, there's some people getting rooked for child support. So I understand the conversation, you know. You mean RFK? And is RFK going to be able to do anything about the child support situation? I don't know. Dances with Vegans says 13.5% of the population, 43 million actual descendants, Black immigrants make up about 10%. 10 million more. It says Google has us at 13.5%. My point stands. We want all the freedoms and liberty plus reparations. The last part, that part. Yes, indeed. Buckhorse, an anti-Black hate crime bill now. Yep. Let's see who else is on here. Let's see. Yeah, Sunlight. We want it all. Brand new socks and drawers. Okay, we do. Justin says, we've got to start ostracizing those in our community who are willing to sell us out for symbolic nothingness. It's got to be solidified as a non-negotiable. Yeah, but again, it's all about optics, right? See these Black women up there, and they talking about, oh, we're so happy. Oh, we get. And that particular woman, let me see here. So the one down there with Biden and the one up there doing that with the other lady, That's her mission. She runs around the country, and she was there with what's his name? Greg Abbott in Texas. She was standing behind him as well as he was signing the Crown Act. So that's her thing, to get all these states to pass the Crown Act. And it's like, we really could have had a V8. You know what I mean? And this bill, you run around the country pushing this Crown Act. You know, there's a lot of things that we could get. I don't know, but that's her mission. She's proud of it. So yeah, let me take her down. Okay, so let's see. I'm not going to keep reading no comments for real. Miss Mississippi says the Democratic Party is banking on Black folks disliking Trump so bad that you will vote for them even if they offer you zero policies that positively improve your life. Yeah, you know, I don't. I'm not, like I said, I'm not against voting for a Democrat because I'm independent. If they're doing something like for real, but if they just, you know, just talking and not doing nothing like as usual, then no, I'm not voting for them. Just like I'm not going to vote for a Republican that is not going to do anything that includes Black Americans. So, you know, I'm all right with the couch. Now, I would say on the state and local level, I do go out and vote because, as that woman said about the potholes and things like that, your city council and all them, that they control those type of things, right? Your mayors, your judges, your sheriffs, your DAs, all them people, right? They have a direct effect on your life. So those things we should show up for. Stephen, how you doing? Says, who wrote the bill? Not for us, a traitor to the FBA family. I'm not quite sure who wrote it, but as I just showed y'all, that lady, she might have had something to do with it as she runs around the country trying to get this Crown Act passed. True Warrior said it's not a matter of making the Blacks happy. He said it's about giving their appearance that they've done something for the Blacks to essentially fight against racism. Exactly. You know, because if somebody is racist or a job is racist, they'll just change the method of how they are racist towards you. They may not say, Glodadine, I don't really like your hairstyle today. You got to go home and change that. They might say, well, you know what, your performance is not where it was last year. And, you know, we're not doing as well as we were. So we're going to have to trim the fat, and you're the fat. But, you know, they can say anything they want to say. G Code, how you doing? Thank you. Hope you're doing well today. Let's see. Sister Sunlight says you can do a lot of different styles with locks, curly, wavy, do basically all the styles you do without having to worry about humidity. I'll send you some. Yeah, I get all that. For me, I've seen a lot of people my age going bald with locks, you know, because locks, you know, you got to keep twisting. And I'm not, my sister has locks, so I'm not shaming anybody with locks. But I just think I would be bald headed with locks. It'll snatch my hair out. And I don't like my hair tight, none of that kind of stuff. And so, yeah, you can do a lot of stuff with it, but I like my hair free. Freer. Brogu, how you doing? Says we need to stop thinking about trivial things like hairstyles. This country has always given us trinkets to keep us satisfied. Wake up, people, focus on serious matters. I totally agree with you. You know, hair is important, you know, depending on how you look at it, but it's not the most important thing. Well, maybe it is to some people. I will say hair is important to me, but it doesn't soak up my day. Like, I'm not, you know, all day. I only comb my hair, honestly, when I'm on here. So I get you. FN Yak, how you doing? Says happy Thanksgiving to all. Says, who was the only true Black leader in America? A man who really cared for the Black population. Malcolm X. Unfortunately, he was taken out because he was doomed to dangerous. Well, I mean, he was one of them. He was one of the true Black leaders for Black Americans here in America. One of them. There's been a whole lot of them. Who you think taught him to be that? I mean, let's not be silly. You know what I mean? If you know, see, when I hear people talk about Malcolm X, I always say people walk. They talk Malcolm, but they don't walk Malcolm. Because if you know anything about Malcolm, you know he didn't wake up a leader of Black people here in America. He was taught that. Where was he taught that from? Of course, you should know the answer to that if you know anything about Malcolm X, right? You know, he got the teaching from the Nation of Islam, you know, and his parents, his father, you know, he was on Black Power stuff too. So yeah, but he came into, you know, true thought processes as an adult under the Nation of Islam. Yeah, as far as, you know, Black, just about Blackness in the true sense of the form, uplifting Black people, do for self and all that other stuff, waking Black people up. He came to that under the Nation of Islam. So to say that he was the only true Black leader is very disingenuous, just to say the least. Let's see. Dancing with the vegans, he said dissent is not trolling. Change my stated idea. Challenge. I'm not finna challenge. What I look like, a boxer? I'm not finna challenge you to do nothing. You can invite me to your show, and then, you know, and we can challenge each other there. But I'm not interested in challenging you to do anything. And it's not dissent. It's trying to think of a word, because I know you think you're doing is dissent. That's not dissent. You're being annoying because your numbers are wrong, right? You're big upping something you really have no knowledge of. You're trying to sell that as a win for Black Americans, and it's not. So it's not dissent. It's annoying. Like, you should really learn the difference, because dissent is something. Dissent is not bad, right? Dissent means that I am moving away from that, but you're doing it with knowledge. You're doing it with some real understanding. You're just doing it with your thumbs. You thumb thugging is what you're doing. So make sure you understand what you're really doing, and you're causing, you know, not much, but a tiny bit of a disruption. But something tells me that's what you do. In a sense, you're a troll. There's nothing dissenting about what you're doing. It's annoying. So I hope that helps. McQueen says, I had to tell a white person the other day that there's nothing dreadful about Black people's hair being locked. Is beautifully unique, just for given up to us by God. Yeah, and I don't even care to change their minds at all. I don't have conversations. I'm not saying anything about you. I don't have conversations with white people about nothing I'm doing as Black. My hair, my skin, none of that. Because I don't need their approval. I never have, right? As y'all know, I was born into the Nation of Islam, and so I had from the cradle a very woke in the sense of the true term, not the stuff they be throwing around. So I was always told by my daddy, you know, me and my siblings, that our skin is beautiful, our hair is beautiful, and this, that, and the other. And I never was taught to seek validation from white folks. Never. If white people never like nothing about me, then I would be okay with that. In fact, I'd be happy, because I really don't want you to like nothing about me. I don't want you to think you liking anything about me makes my boat float. So that's just me. Taz, how you doing? Said it's a shame we have laws against us and for us. I also agree neither party has done anything for Black people. We need tangibles. I think the Crown Act is a start of the legislation to others legislation that we need. I actually think it's a finish, because they think that's what we need. We don't need that. It's not even a start, because then, okay, if it's a start, what next? Are they talking about what they're going to do for us next? Or is that a here, that should hold them? You know what I mean? I'm just asking. Yeah, son, like unseasoned turkey is crazy. And I know that's what they sitting behind today. First class citizen, how you doing? It says, good morning, Sister Demetra. It says, we have gotten our reparations and restorations. The Crown Act will be irrelevant. By the way, your hair always looking fly. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Iron Malt, how you doing? Says, nope. Everyone else got separate bills, stipends, and other tangibles. And FBA gets symbolism and inclusion. Everyone eat off us. Yeah, you're right. Everybody else has gotten a bill just for them, but us, we get to share. You know, you ever been told that you have to share with your siblings? Give your sister some of that donut. It's like, Mom, the donut is that big. I give her some, then, you know what I mean? So yeah, we have to share with everybody. And we don't want to do that because they don't share with us, you know? And Taz says, right, elections season. He says, I agree with that too. Yeah, the off election season, right? Sister Shirley, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Doug, how you doing? Well, happy Thanksgiving to you. I don't celebrate it, which is why I'm here. But if you do, hey, have a turkey leg for me. And not a lot of salt. Sister Shirley says, why change up the game when it always works? Come on now. The Democrats is like, it's been working. What did Hillary say? When she was on the Breakfast Club and Charlamagne asked her, she says, you got hot sauce in your purse? She says, well, I actually do. And he says, well, you know, they're going to say you're pandering, right? She says, well, it's working. So yeah, it's working. Why change up? You know, as a certain somebody who shall not say his name, but he was teaching Hillary how to wobble, and he says you're gonna get a lot of votes for that. A white woman, with her unseasoned self wobbling, looking like she having a stroke. So yeah, it's working. Let's see, who else haven't I seen on here? Man, time flies by so fast. I really thought I was gonna be here by myself, y'all. I really did. Thought I was gonna say, I looked all over, couldn't find nobody. I thought that was gonna happen, but I'm so happy you guys are all here. MSM, how you doing? Says happy Thanksgiving to you. I agree to Demetra. We need more Black jobs, right, Demetra? We need more empowerment. He says you're awesome. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You know what? I will keep up the good work just because you said that. The Dennis, how you doing? It says the kinky or the afro is the hair of many hairstyles. Yeah. We call it natural because this is how our hair grows. You hear people say, I'm going back to natural. Well, I'm going, it's like, yeah, okay, go back to natural, I'm not going to lie to kick it. I permed my hair for years, I first permed my hair when I was 15. And then from that point, I had a cosmetology license when I was 18 with the cosmetology school. And I delved in some permanent relaxers, the technical name of it. And I wore my hair like that for a while. And then one day I was like, yeah, let me go back to natural. So I wore afro. And then one other time, like I said, when I went to corporate America, I permed my hair. And now I just wear it like this. Seems to be working out. And I know a lot of people say, oh, it's natural. It's hard to be natural. It's like it's the hair that come out your head. If you're trying to lay it down, like Europeans and stuff, yeah, you ain't going to be able to do that. Our hair, well, mine does anyway, grows up. Our hair grows up toward the sun. So sometimes you just got to let it do what it do. You can manipulate it or whatever it is, but we got to, I think, realize this is the hair that we were born with. Of course, we were taught that as simulation, right? You got to simulate, straighten your hair, sort of look like a white woman's hair, be bouncing and behaving and all this other foolishness we taught ourselves, right? Straightening it and burning it, all kind of stuff. But I don't put heat or nothing on my hair at all. Like I said, I don't even comb through my hair. I just don't. So yeah. Dancing with vegans. You know what? I used to be a vegan. And now I understand why you act the way you do. Because vegans be hungry. I was a vegan for real. But like for 7 years, I was a staunch vegan for 7 years. And this is before Impossible Burger or Impossible Foods and all that other stuff. I had to get it out the mud, like literally, right? But I was hungry a lot. So I get it. You probably hungry. Go eat something. Eat you some meat today. But you say this woman thinks the man should be allowed to destroy you for those locks she hates. Oh, shut up. Let's see. Albie Chill, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Sunlight says, yes, I've seen people with thinning issues. Yeah, I've seen a lot of people with locks. You can read their mind. Because it's just, you think about it, they're heavy and they're going to be pulling after a while. Where does the shedded hair go? You just keep, intertwine them again. Like I said, I know people with locks. It's just not something for me. I'm telling you right now, God is my witness, I'd be bald if I had locks. So yeah, all or nothing. You say Fred Hampton. Yeah, y'all naming all these black leaders. You know why? See, we got the school people. Some people really just don't know, and it's okay. Ali, how you doing? Walaikum salam to you. You said Fred Hampton offered help and legally got murked by the government. That is true. Sure is. Let's see. Buckhorse says, if you're bald-headed, raise your hands. If you're sure, you crazy. JBWR, how are you and where have you been today? I haven't seen, or today, yesterday, I haven't seen you in a while, but I'm glad to see you on here. And you too, where have you been? You've been missing in action. Entree, how you doing? Hope you're having a great day, and thank you so much. Love and appreciate you for that. Marvin, how you doing? Says, for real, I'm confused. What are our values? Thanksgiving, Christmas, Halloween, community. What is it? I don't celebrate at all. And again, I don't begrudge anybody who wants to celebrate. I do not. I'm not one of those Hotepians I hope I didn't get in trouble by saying that, but that be on the internet, oh, you black people, you're going to hell because I don't be doing all that. If you want to engage in that, that's your business. Because see, I can only be responsible for me, right? But I don't celebrate because it is a pagan holiday. It's a consumeristic holiday. I'm not going to give them white folks no more money because they telling me today you need to come out here and buy a big giant turkey or some gifts or whatever it is. Valentine's, I don't do none of it. Valentine's, Mother's Day is every day, whatever, you know, all that. I don't do any of it. So, but if you do, you know, I will not keep that from you. It's not my place to do that. Albert Chill says, back in the day, you had to earn the title of conscious. Come on now, or woke. Plus, you had to show and prove your knowledge. Now, people confidently pontificate ignorance with passion. Absolutely, and that's what they considered woke to be. They done heard something off the internet. One of my favorite memes. It's from Abraham Lincoln. Believe it or not, you know, Abraham Lincoln has a meme, and he says, "If it's on the internet, it must be true." Dated 1865. Abraham Lincoln said that. Now, obviously, he didn't, but you know, if you see it on the internet, it must be true. So then people get this stuff from the internet and they're like, oh, I see the light. I'm woke. And then they go try to educate somebody else and they both fools together. Renz says, we don't need their soap seal of approval, fam. No, not at all. M, how you doing? Says the NOI has been the most transformative in my humble opinion. I've never done a deep dive into their philosophical beliefs, but it's miles apart from the so-called Baptist churches when it comes to measurable change. Absolutely. You know, people talk stuff about the Nation of Islam is because they don't know not what they talking about, right? They defending things they have no knowledge of. Again, they heard somebody else from the internet say something about it. Oh, what if they was doing and why don't they do that? That's why it's called the nation, right? They working amongst themselves in the nation, and they include people who are outside of the nation, right? Farrakhan, I should say the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has been working his whole life to bring consciousness, real consciousness to Black people in America. You know, people say, well, why hasn't he? Is like, because you ain't listening, right? They say you can take a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. You could take somebody, give them the knowledge, but you can't make them think. So he's supposed to force you to take the information, which is why you don't hear him speak right now. Because he's like, I done said all I need to say. Everything you need to hear and know is out there. If you're really interested, you go get the information and you go make some moves with it, right? So yeah, Doug, now you know we ain't saying his name. Oh, I'll say it once. Roland Martin. He was like, Rumpelstiltskin. Or Candyman. I'm gonna say that once. Or Beetlejuice. Let's see. I see that my time. He said, can I stay with you? I can't actually because there's other contributors coming up after me. So if I stay, then I'm gonna go into their time slot. And I don't really want to do that. But I'll be here Sunday on my channel. Toby, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Let's see. Who else haven't I seen? Ernest, how are you doing? Grand rising to you. Not laughing at you. Just when I hear that term grand rising, I think about the jokes when they say, if he says grand rising queen, run. But I know you mean that most sincerely. So thank you. Toby says, you have Queen Charlotte hair. Oh, well, thank you. I do, huh? It does look like Queen Charlotte's hair. Now I need Queen Charlotte's money, and that'd be a game changer. Mahaya, how you doing? Says, I have not, I've never twisted my locks. It says mine are from the free form. Oh, okay, Era. Says I was freeing me from to just let it do what it do. I usually wear a scarf and let them hang down. They are past my hips. Woo! Are they heavy? See, that's what I would be worried about, heavy. But yeah, a lot of people are doing it free form, just like, hey, like Jay-Z style. Just do what you need to do. Marvin says, thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, it's my pleasure. Then it says nothing wrong with straightening your hair from long as the intention is about the style and not about the not appreciating your hair. Yeah, people can do whatever they want. I never tell people what to do with their hair. Just for me, straightening my hair, it ain't gonna bounce back. I don't have the type of hair that I can straighten it once and it'll curl back up. It won't do it. It'll look crazy. And then I'm going to be mad because I'm going to have to shave it bald. Mel, how you doing? Says these people laugh in our faces when we cheer for these useless bills. And sadly, it's always a Black woman who cheers this on. Yeah, you know, the Democrats gonna get a good old black woman up there and sell a bunch of nothing to other black people, and we gonna run around, like I said, and look at that, and they gonna try to put her all up in all kind of places like she really did something, and she didn't, you know. And God love her for the efforts. I mean, she's doing things I would never do, just because I would never do them. But I think she should probably be called out. Like, what is you doing? Don't nobody want no hair bill. And if your child is going to a school where they mad at her hair, then find another school she can go to, or let's talk about creating our own schools. Let's talk about creating our own jobs. But being thankful, because that's what it is. Oh, thank you, massa. We could wear our hair now wherever we ain't got to wear that headscarf. We can wear it how we want to wear it. We appreciate you so much. That's kind of what I hear. I could be wrong. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna get out of here before I get in trouble. Dancing with Vegan, please. I'm for real. Like, I'm not being mean. I know why you mad. I know why. I know. I can hear your stomach grumbling from here. Ow. Eat a piece of meat today. I'm telling you, it ain't gotta be like no pork. Don't mess with pork. No pork on your fork. You know. Get you some whiting fish or something, or a nice piece of chicken, some turkey. Because I know you be that one. I'm telling you, I'm speaking from experience. You sitting up there at the table with your family members, your face all screwed up because they eating some turkey and some dressing and stuff, and you got you a tomato, and with your tomato, you're acting very righteous, like, I ain't eating a tomato. Look at you guys. And I'm not, saying veganism is not good. It has its benefits. I just couldn't be it anymore because, it was making my hair thin and all that other stuff. But I know what you're going through. And I'll tell you right now, get you some turkey breasts. Just a little bit. Change your life. I think the next time you come on here, you're going to be happy. Anyway, love and appreciate every last one of y'all. Let me get out of here before I get in trouble. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Peace.